What's going on, people? Yeah, we back at it again. This is the Opinionated Facts Media Group podcast, the only podcast you'll ever need to listen to about relationships. And now I'm joined by my one and only team, Coco Love, Illuminating Lenses, and Journey to Be Great. What's good, people?
What
What's
up?
up? What's up?
All right, so look, I started something on that was kind of dry. But anyway. I saw I saw something. Yeah, I want to share this with you guys. So I saw it on, I think it was TikTok, and this man was talking or whatever, and he was talking about how men are loyal even if they cheat. So I was reading the comments or whatever, and of course, the ladies was going in like, what are you talking about, this and the third. So his point was that a man can still be loyal even if he cheats, because he's faithful, and women try to blend the two together. And I hope I'm saying this right. So basically what he's saying is, so I'm still loyal to you even if I go out and cheat. I just wasn't faithful. So I mean, what do y'all think about that? Does that make sense? I mean, because when I was thinking about it, it kind of made sense to me. I'm not saying condone going out and doing anything to break any kind of trust or cause any kind of problems, but do y'all understand what I'm saying?
I guess I'm trying to understand. Maybe I missed something. Exactly how are you loyal?
I guess because he's saying like you just going out for a sample. Like,
you came back. That's
yeah, he came back. He just wanted to go and explore.
I get what he's saying, but I'm thinking of it from a different aspect, not from that aspect. Okay, let's take Diddy, and I forgot his ex who had passed. It's been deeply documented that they had love for each other, but he stepped out a couple times or whatever. I think with guys, sometimes or a lot of times, even if you do step out, it doesn't mean that you don't love that person, but there's certain things that this other person is doing that at that time intrigues you. Now, it doesn't make it right. No, you're not faithful. You did cheat, but you're faithful in the sense of my love for you is still there. So that part is there. Now, if you take versus with women, they always say they cheat before they cheat. What I mean by that is once she actually like slept with somebody else, she was already gone, because once a woman, she starts getting more emotional involved with the other person that she's dealing with, if you've lost her already at that point, the other cheating is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I looked at. The loyalty is different. I think loyalty is different than being faithful. And I think that's really what you're trying to say. And when I took the time to think about it myself, I would agree somewhat with what you're saying, that he's loyal to the fact that he may go out, but he's coming back home, or he may go do this, that, and the third, but he knows who he wants to be with. So he's loyal to that. And I think that kind of goes to the fact that maybe he is not receiving something at home. So he has to go out and, well, he doesn't have to do it, but most of them go out and get it from somewhere else. And that's considered to be cheating all the way around. That's considered to be not being faithful, not being loyal. But I can also see on the flip side where it's not being loyal, because if you said what you said and you're being loyal to what you said, then that's kind of still, breaking the trust and not necessarily being loyal. So I think that's a very interesting topic. Do you ladies want to elaborate at all on that?
Well, I was just going to say, as far as loyalty, I mean, I guess if you're looking at it, if he's still keeping all of his commitments to her and, whatever, as far as producing wise, as far as income and doing things around the house, loyal in that way. But at the same time, what about your word, though? Like, if you took vows with this person, you're not loyal to that.
Definitely.
That's interesting too, because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of times when guys start dealing with women, especially if it's in the beginning, like he says something like, because this is another part they brought up. He said something like, "Yo, I'm just Netflix and chilling. Like I ain't necessarily looking for nothing too serious." Or he said something like, "Hey, I'm I just want to sleep with you. I ain't trying to do all the other stuff." And she's like, "Okay, well, I'll change him. He'll change his mind after a while." And so he's being, like you said, he's being loyal to what he said. So
that is an issue, and that's on the woman, because I know that all too well. When you take a man's, when he actually is being clear with you, like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and women fall for that potential, what it could be. I get that, but I'm talking about in the instance where he's like, hey, I'm committed to you. He goes to the altar and take vows. I'm committed to you. That's still breaking your loyalty.
right. As far as the example, like with Diddy or whatever, I mean, the same way that he seems to have something going on with Carisha, Young Miami or whatever, like along with whoever he just had this baby with. And, I think there's some type of understanding there too. So whereas if you're married or even just, in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, unless y'all have some type of understanding that that y'all can do that, like an open relationship or whatever, I don't think that's going to.
And I think it's important to also say that there's a difference between when you say you love somebody and you have love for the person. Like, if you're constantly, like, cheating on your significant other and stuff, you can't say that I love you, because that commitment as far as being faithful is
a part of the
that.
love.
Right. But you can still have love for that person. Like, you love different aspects of them, but
you don't care about losing them.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, how important is what you need to the other person? So, for example, say you marry somebody, right? Like Journey was talking about, you marry somebody, take these vows or whatever, right? Say for a woman, right? Say you get with him, you marry him, and he's not really working that hard, or maybe he stops working as hard because now y'all together or whatever, or maybe he don't work at all, in some cases, and you need him to do that. I mean, in that sense, if you talk about it, you work on it, and he still doesn't, he just won't get a job. If you go out and you decide to do whatever you're gonna do with another man, you don't necessarily have to be sexually, but just you go seek that from someone else. Does that mean that you wasn't loyal to him?
If you're going outside of your home to explore with somebody else, yeah.
I understand that through the structure of how your relationship is set up, but I feel that that's ultimately a trap. Like, people will get married for the money, or they'll get married for other reasons, or they'll get with somebody for whatever their reason is, but they don't want to fulfill their bargain, but they feel like because now I am married to this person, or I have something to get them to be somewhat stuck with me, that I don't necessarily have to do anything, and they just have to sit there and put up with it. You can be loyal to a person, but I think sometimes the faithfulness does kind of go out the window if you feel like whatever you're supposed to be, and not even supposed to, but whatever you need, your needs are not being met. So I think that's why so many men go out and cheat, especially sexually, because a lot of times they're not getting that at home, because you don't really hear them talking a whole lot about anything else. It's more so just he went out with some other woman.
Well, what about the ones who have the wives that are willing to do certain things sexually?
I've never seen that. I've never seen a man who has been 100% satisfied sexually go out and cheat with another woman. I've never seen that.
The reason I ask, because like me and my kid's father, we've been separated for quite some time now, and we have a good relationship as far as co-parenting and just being cool. And so we talked about our issues that we had in the past when we were together, and I asked him the question initially. I was like, when you were out cheating, I asked him, was it something that I wasn't doing sexually at home that made you go elsewhere? And he explained, which he didn't have a reason to, like I said, this had been years after. He said I was doing, he didn't have a reason to. He was being satisfied at home. He was just greedy.
Yeah, and it's some out there. I mean, that's why they say. I mean, they say that you can be doing everything, and this is for women too. That you can be doing everything that a man is supposed to do for a woman. Is as far as taking care of the home, everything that you could be doing, or vice versa. You can be doing everything for your man, sexually. Taking care of his children, taking care of his home, taking care of yourself, whatever. But if there's always someone else out there. There's always someone out there that's new that they don't know, that's exciting. So that doesn't always end up being the reason. It's because they're not satisfied. Sometimes it's other reasons.
And again, that's where it goes back again to where love versus having love with somebody. Because if you actually love somebody, then if they're doing everything right, you're not gonna just be like, oh, I love them and everything like that, and they're doing the right stuff. But it's like, I'm just bored or whatever because they're doing all the right things, whatever. Like, if you're bored with somebody because they're doing the right things, then you don't actually love them. You have love for them from the sense of that they'll do you right and everything, but you don't actually have that level of I love you, I want to be with you. It's like I'm with you because you're doing all the right things, not because I actually love you.
And I want to speak to that. I agree with you too, E, but I want to speak to that too. I don't know if he was telling you the whole truth, because you say he didn't have no reason to lie. I don't know, and I'm not disputing what he was saying was whether it was true or not. But then you got to ask yourself this question as well, because he just needs so much. How much did he need? And you're like, well, damn, I would have gave you 2 or 3 more if that's what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Then it seems like to me it just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just don't make sense. So I'll give it to you, but you're gonna go give it to somebody else. There's something wrong with that person, or maybe they don't know what's going on in their own head. You understand what I'm saying? Because that just
agree. I think it's to a point. If it's like that, I think you got to go to it's something within that person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're being satisfied. So I can't say that, oh, it's just that person just not satisfied and period. They're not meeting their needs. It comes down to the individual. It's something going on with them.
100%. I 100% agree because I ain't never seen it. As a matter of fact, most of the time when I talk to a man that is married or in a relationship, like I was just talking to a guy, I think it was a couple of days ago, and he was just talking about he sleeps on the couch and his girls sleep in the room and they have a couple children together. And you just ask yourself, so how do you get there? And then he's always talking about how he's going to go out there, do his little thing or whatever, and she going to do her thing. And, I don't know all of their issues or problems, but somewhere along the line, I guess they're not having sex with each other. So I guess I'm saying when it comes to men being faithful and loyal, I have never met a man that was true to himself. Now, I don't, like, again, they be lying all the time to the women, which I don't condone that either, which doesn't make sense, especially if she's supposed to be your partner. But if you're going to be honest with yourself, like, why go out there and touch on her or feel on her when you have all of what she has at home? So obviously it's something that you want that's not at home. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise you would be just with your wife, because there are some men that I know that are satisfied with their wives and satisfied with their women, and they do not cheat. I may bring one on so they could talk about what is going on with them that makes them faithful to their wife and why they don't go out and cheat. But I think it's possible.
Okay. Well, speaking of sex, since we're on that topic, recently I came across this interview with Glorilla. Y'all, I'm sure y'all heard of her. She's the rapper that has the song Elf in Elf. But anyway, she was on the podcast with Angela Yee. And I didn't hear the entire interview, but I know they started talking about women swallowing. And so Glorilla took it a step further and was saying that if she's with her man and just say, for instance, they were eating and then they decide to have sex, she would tell her man to put a little extra sauce on her food and she would eat it. So
what? Actual sauce or his sauce?
No, his special sauce.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Extra sauce.
Yeah, I was trying to be kind of PG terms, but basically she wants somebody to come. She wants him to come on her food, and she would eat.
That is disgusting. I'm sorry.
Sorry. That's very different. So it made me think about, like, if you intimate with someone, about to be intimate, you may start talking dirty or whatever, and it kind of gets weird. Like, how do you proceed from there? Because I like, the only incident that came to mind as far as like talking dirty, the job I was working at the time, I was working in production. And so this guy that I was, we had just met, started talking. And he asked, did we have to wear hard hats at my job? And I explained to him in certain areas we do. And he started talking about he would love to see me in a hard hat with a sledgehammer. And he was talking about and he was just talking about, the thought of that, turned him on. And I was just like, what the hell? I didn't know how to respond to that. So I was like, what? And I just kind of laughed it off and started talking about something else. But it was just so weird. So I'm just curious, like, have y'all had any situations like that? And if so, like, how do you respond to it?
Well, the part that got me, man, I'm sorry, I got to take a step back here. What does a sledgehammer have to do with it?
I have no idea.
It sounds like he has like this construction woman fantasy. Like I got the visual when he said it, like a hard hat, like some little short little vest, and like some shorts or something.
I mean, maybe he
gotta have some type of tool, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
It may be a bodybuilder fetish. It may be.
What it sounds like.
maybe it's like a working woman fetish.
Yeah.
Thing. Hard working woman or something fetish. Maybe.
All right then. Okay.
With that one before that, right? I was wondering what was gonna happen with that sledgehammer.
Right.
I don't know. Now he might be one of them men that like to get, what they call it, peg. Ain't that what they call it, peg?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Oh God,
that's some weird.
I guess you could peg him with the other end of the sledge.
Hey, there it is. That crazy talk. Hit me with that. You should have asked him what you want me to do with this sledgehammer.
And then he would have told her that, and then that would have been the end of the conversation. That would have been it.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, we didn't talk too much longer after that, but
oh man,
that was different. That was different.
Well, you know what? I don't know. What you about to say?
I'm about to say this is when you need like timeouts, like save your timeouts when you're in relationships, whatever. Because like
you've had enough to drink. Like, all right.
Well, I personally have not had a situation like that. I'm not really a.
I'm not.
You know, I'm saying though, I would say, what kind of? I mean, are we talking about during the sexual encounter, or are we talking about just saying something randomly in general?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a relationship. You know, if you with your partner and you know it's some pizza over there on the side, and she was like, "Hey, I put it there on this pepperoni pizza."
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of would be into that because not necessarily. I'm not necessarily.
Whoa.
I'm not necessarily saying. Hold on, listen though. I want y'all to hear me out though. I'm not saying I want to put some mayonnaise on the pizza. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying just the silly. I would be into my lady in the sense to where if she would feel that free with me to say, I would be kind of shocked if she said like that to me, in the first place. But if she did, I was like, you know what, she kind of freaky. I'm gonna say something crazy to her and see what she knows.
I mean, if you want to put the titty on the as a topping, I mean, whatever.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You want to drop it on there? Come on, let's see what you got.
I can't say that I can't recall a time where anyone said anything to me crazy that kind of like was weird or whatever when it came to like dirty talk or anything. But I would say if it's anything to do with food, more than likely it's not gonna do it for me. It's gonna make me, because I love food. I do.
Right.
And I'm just gonna wonder if you're okay. Now the only time maybe with some food like it's dessert toppings. So something with some cream or
he got the cream for you.
Chocolate syrup or something like that. Maybe if you made a comment about one of those food items or whatever, I could maybe get with you on that. But otherwise, no.
No, so you don't want nothing on your fries or pizza?
No, I don't. Honey mustard is fine. Honey mustard is fine.
And you gonna call it honey mustard? That could be the code name. Honey mustard. Especially when you have kids, you be like, "Oh, you want honey mustard tonight?" The kids like,
"Oh God!"
The kids be like, "What you talking about, Dad? Why y'all keep saying honey mustard like that?"
Don't worry about it. Go to sleep.
All right, man. Looks like we finna get ready to wrap another one up, man. We hope that this one actually gave y'all some insight on some things that we thought were interesting. If you have something that is on your mind that you want to ask about or you want us to talk about, don't forget to drop it in the comments below or hit us up on our social media links because they will be somewhere in the notes or in the description. Comment, like, hit the bell, man. If you're on YouTube, hey, just make it to where you can get all of our episodes because we be dropping the gems. But again, I am Swaver, along with Coco Love and Illuminated Lenses. Journey to be great. This is Opinionated Facts. And until next time, peace.